Alright, this is Off Meta back with you again, and I'm showing you the White Forest deck I played yesterday. I played this particular version because I still have not got my Nightmare Apprentice cards. I have come to the conclusion I'm only going to play 2 in the deck, but this is what we're playing currently, and then I'll go over my records. So, 3 Sylvie as an opener, 3 of the White Forest as an opener. I am playing 2 Rusia. One is good most of the time, but for what I'm trying to do with everything and try to go second and go big, having a second Rusia just in case I can't search at the same turn or I need to draw, the ability to draw it more frequently is useful. That's going into a Stellar. I am playing one of her. She's going to become a Nightmare Apprentice when they get here. I didn't search for that card, I didn't draw that card, I didn't play that card a single time. I know what her value is with her being in the grave and being able to come back, but if I never see her and I never want to search for her, she just ends up not being as good as other cards. Then we were playing Forest Azamina, the bridge card. I almost always use her specifically for a synchro to search for Sinful Spoils to go into the Azamina engine. Very rarely do I use her fusion ability, and sometimes I will use her in hand effect instead of summoning her to summon Queen, which is the next card. From there, we did play 2 Diabell Star. Surprisingly, that actually worked really, really well yesterday with the amount of times I drew Diabell Star and a Wanted. And I've had that happen with just playing 1 in the deck too, so she might stay at 2 just to make Wanted live more frequently than when you get the 2 in hand and you have to do a bunch of stuff with her just to make Wanted live, or you waste the Wanted effect, and I'd rather just be able to search something. So yeah, she's gonna stay in the deck at 2, I think. And to wrap up the monsters, the 2 games that did go off, it worked really, really well, was the Snake Eyes Poplar. And it's just the 1 Snake Eyes card for monsters, and we are still playing the 3 Temple. So every time I drew Temple, activate the Temple, place this. If they didn't stop Temple, that was usually a good indicator they weren't going to do much of anything against me, except maybe Droll. And then I would somehow I got lucky the 2 games I did draw this, because it's only 4 cards. You don't see it as often as you'd like. When you do see it, you can still send this, put it back, use this when it's special summoned for whatever reason to search this, or you can just discard these later. If this ever ends up in the grave, this is always a live draw no matter where it is, because it's from hand, deck, or grave, to give you more advantage on this. But sending this with Diabell to bring it back, then to send it with Rusia. I did that twice yesterday to draw cards after I searched for cards. So it worked out pretty well. The 1 game, actually, instead of tributing the Poplar, I sent it for Diabell from the hand, put it back here. And then Rusia this, and that was match 1. And then match 4, we did something similar, except instead of sending this from hand or backfield, it was specifically this case. I played this first, waited for a response, nothing. Played Wanted, no response. So I said, cool, Wanted resolved, and I sent this, summoned Diabell search, and then played from there. But the little 4-card Snake Engine package worked out well when it's drawn. The problem is you don't draw it as much, so it only works if you draw it. We did play 2 Debtors. The amount of times I had cards banished, and I don't mean just like monsters, I mean cards banished. This actually came up a lot, having the second one, just because I needed more Azamina names. The 1 Hollowed, this got banished, I think 2 games yesterday because of the matchups. 1 Tails, 2 Sinful Spoils of the White Forest, 3 Wanted, because, I mean, Wanted is just probably the best card in the deck, unfortunately. Diabell Star is just still super strong. 1 Deception, 1 Subversion. The board breakers I'm playing, because I'm not playing hand traps, are the 3 droplets still. 2 triple tactics thrust and talents, there's not a single card out of this spell lineup, period. I mean, even with the temples, that I would really want to cut. Temple and the snake guy Poplar are probably the 4 cards that will come out for some other engines if I play a different engine, or when the new stuff comes out, I'll trade stuff out. And then for the last couple cards, we played the 2 evenly matches, our other 2 board breakers. When I drew them, they were good. The one game I punted because I didn't use evenly matched. I tried to be greedy and go way bigger than I needed to. Ace, every time I have resolved this card's been really good. Yesterday I didn't get to resolve or even activate it. Woes, I did get that resolve and activate one time, still didn't do anything. And then I was playing Sinful Spoil Slumber. It could have been good. It's just another Sinful Spoil target, but again, all 3 of these cards, because I'm playing board breakers, just didn't... I was trying to break boards with something else, and this is much better going first card, so this is just going to move to the sideboard. Woes is just Woes. It's good when it is, and it's not when it isn't, but it's also seen in with the way the deck plays. I'd rather search for anything else, but I also needed White Forest names other than the 3, because I wanted at least 4 White Forest names, so I gave myself 5. And then Slumber would be super cool if I actually played Ryziel yesterday. So there's that, but I didn't get to play Ryziel at all. And normally, even when I do play Ryziel, I'm just subversioning detonators away instead of trying to stop them from making detonators. So I'm not really sure if any of these 3 traps are even worth keeping in the main. This is worth keeping in the deck, but I don't even know if I want to keep these in the deck. Moving on to, we'll do the extra deck next, because this one is where a lot of the changes are going to happen. So cards I actually summoned yesterday, Impactful or not, I summoned SP, we summoned Chaos Angel, Severa, Diabel, Roselia, Sylvia, Soul. I summoned these 2 almost every game that I could summon 2 cards. And the last one I summoned was I'm sorry, there's 2 more. Rulcilago, whatever her name is, and then Regina. I summoned Regina twice, and both games I summoned it, it literally just blew the game out for me. This comboed off with other cards, you just do so much nonsense. Cards I didn't summon at all was the second Soul. I like the idea of having 2. The idea is still the same. If I summon one on my turn, I can still summon one on my opponent's turn and send a card as an interruption, but it's not as relevant as I was hoping. Zapper Shrimp, I love doing the combo to Chaos Angel and Disrupt plays, but I did not make Diabel but 2 times yesterday. I really have gone super heavy into the fusion engine. So we're kind of sitting on that. Snake Eyes Doomed Dragon, I have the ability to make it, but I never once made it. It's another cool get rid of cards non-destructively. I can also make Bephermot, the Mythical King of Phantom Beasts in this deck, but I never wanted to make it. Everything else was more important. Typhoon, I did want to make one game. He's always going to be in the deck no matter what, so he's just going to stay no matter what. But I didn't need to make him yesterday. And then Saint Azamina is kind of the same boat. She's really good when she's good, and she can make games really easy, but I never actually needed her yesterday for anything. So, these particular 4 cards, I'm honestly going to take out and try to figure out what I want to put in instead. I like doing the Zapper Shrimp combo, so he might stay in. But these 3 cards are for sure coming out. I really like this card, but I'm also going to take out Poplar and the 3 temples, so I really don't want it in the deck at the moment. Not sure what I'm going to replace them with yet. Depends what engine I decide to put in to go with this stuff. And then for the side deck, every card in the side deck got sided in almost every game in some variation except my 2 talons. With the thrust in the main and the 1 talons, I never wanted the extra ones of these, and I really didn't want to take out too many cards because the cards that are in the deck I don't like taking out unless they're duplicates. Lancias, I did play Malice game 2, so we do have the 3 Lancia. Probably one of the best floodgates in the game currently, just because of the way the meta is, and once the meta changes, it gets a lot worse. But Soul Drains, real good against fiendsmith, real good against Malice, real good against the mirror match. You can actually send it for your own cards, and then make your graveyard live again, while still being able to play. It helped me OTK game 2 against Malice. 3 Solemn Strikes, just a stupid good card, period. There's nothing to say. It just, when it goes off, it goes off. 1 Called By, 1 Insta-Fusion, using my 14th side deck card, which is Millennium Eyes Restrict. So it's just 2 Called By the Graves. Honestly, this could probably just specifically go in the extra deck and just sit in the extra deck because there is space and I don't really need it, and that would give me 3 spots in the sideboard, except I don't know what I'd put in. And the last card that actually won 2 games, and it helped me win 2 games and then blew out a 3rd game. Like, this card comboed off with Regina, let me blow up 5 cards in 1 turn with no destruction protection effects, and that was Sinful Spoils Struggle, because there's so many cards in the deck that are Sinful Spoils, and target any number of cards on the field, max, to the number of Sinful Spoils that are banished or in the graveyard, and then destroy them. And then it's actually, I don't know if I'd put it in the main, but I might put it in the main because it's a board breaker that I can search. But also you can set it, and if Detonator blows it up, you can just say bye Detonator, and there's not really much they can do about it. So that is the cards. Match 1, I drew because I was playing Exo Sisters. I got very greedy. I was speaking about earlier in the video. I had the evenly matched in the hand, and he had an entire Exo Sister board built. And instead of just going battle phase, activate, kill everything, I tried to go for the OTK because I thought I could get to it, even with the interruptions, and I was incorrect. Because I misread a card that he searched for in his turn, and missed a line of text, so I threw that game. Game 2, we went into time, and I was, I don't know, probably 1,000 life points off of winning anyways, and we just happened to hit time. Game 2 was Malice. Malice got to go first. When Malice went first, they just built a board. I played through every card on their board and played like 7 to 9 cards. Sorry, going second, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 cards. And every one of those cards, just there's an answer for everything, even with killing all the advantage and stuff, the board breaking, whatever. It's just Malice is Malice when it goes first. Game 2, I opened Soul Drain, Solemn Strike, Engine. So I set, because I got shifted, set another card. On their turn, draw a phase, activate Soul Drain. Asked for response, said no. They went to play Rabbit. I said Solemn Strike. So set 1 pass, proceeded to play Wanted and draw a phase, and then the end board ended up being Sylvia, Queen, and Relciago. And I just, or not Relciago, Soul. Soul's 27, Relciago's 2000. And because of Sylvie saying all Azamina, I got to 5,000, then 54, and that was game. So And then game 3, we actually grinded back for about 4 turns, and in the end, I just couldn't keep up. It's really hard to keep up against everything that Mouse can do, and my opponent played it very well. I don't know. I feel like we both opened up mediocre, and because my deck is a 2-card starter and his deck is a 1-card starter, if they have Mouse, it just worked out better in the grind game. There are reasons to actually play the fiendsmith engine in this deck. I just happened not to get them, and I didn't see Lance at any 3 of the games. I can't complain though, because game 2 was just a blowout because I saw 2 sideboard cards. But it ended up I lost to the getting bindered 3 times, and that's fine because that's just how the game works with that deck. Match 3 was Mimigul. Mimigul player went first both games. Built strong board, Archfiend Dragon on my board, or Archfiends flipped it, did their thing, make me discard, they draw, summoned a dragon on my side of the field, swords and all the good stuff, like everything that a Mimigul can do, it did, and then I literally just broke the board, and played all the way through it. And then game 2, very similar. It was Light Force Sword, Maker into Dragon, Dragon into Field Spell into Archfiend. I got Slime from the Maker. Special Archfiend, Swords Revealing Light, flip the Archfiend, fetch for the Slime, get the cards. Built an entire board, and then I said, cool. Drew for turn, played Droplet, negated a bunch of stuff, asked for any responses. They said no, because I got the side in, and I proceeded to play Wanted into Witch, Witch into Deception, Deception Tribute, search for Hollowed, activate Hollowed, chaining White Forest, or Simple Spoils of the White Forest, to special summon Queen from hand. Then special summoning Roseliago, search for another Simple Spoils card, which let me search for Struggles. And then I activated Debtors, which I already... My open hand was just really, really good, with 6 cards. Then we Debtors, sending Queen and Deception, summoning Regina. Regina comes out, Queen comes back, activated Struggles. Regina effect activates to pop 2, Struggles pops the rest of the board, and then push for game. So, and then the last match of the day was against Runic. It's a newer player. It's a younger kid who just moved into our area, just learning the area, just playing a deck that they own. So we walked a little slow through the deck. He understands how to play the Runic to an extent. I don't know if there's any other like stuff in there to control. Game 1, I just he burned out of resources too quickly. He milled through, I think, 25 of my cards, and then just ran out of resources. At which point I just proceeded to do Diabell Star and Roselia beatdown. So it was just 33 a turn, hoping he didn't draw anything. Game 2, Runic player went first again. Opened up really, really well. It opened up. There can only be one. Ancient Organism and Skill Drain. So they set 3, played Field Spell. And the only misplay in that game, I think, was playing Instant Fusion to bring out Ferric without any real follow-up. But on my turn, I say draw face, proceed to change a standby, and when priority's passed, he activates, there can only be one. He says anything, I say no. He activates Ancient Organism, he says anything, I say no. He activates Skill Drain, says anything, and I say chain Wanted. And he says sure, and I say chain Debtors. So Debtors sending Wanted, summoning Soul. Wanted then resolves return adding Diabellstar. The rest of the cards go on, and then he has no monsters for the next 3 turns. He drew another ancient organism and another field, the second field spell, and I just 27'd him 4 turns in a row. So that was the 4 games we played. It was Exo, Malice, Mimigul, Runic. When I have more testing done with this deck after these couple changes I was thinking about, I'll show those as well. Current engines I'm thinking about adding in for the temples. I'm contemplating going back to playing the Magician's Soul, because these just let me send spell and trap cards to draw more cards and get advantage, plus it gives me a body on the board. And then because of the extra body, it also lets me play another Tails. And then the other engine I was thinking, because you can search the first card, is the following 4 cards. I can find the last card. There it is. Blazing Cartesia, because even if I don't play any other engine from this, she can just keep adding herself back. 1 Albaz, 1 Albion, and 1 Branded, which then will let me go into 2 of Albaz's fusions in the extra, or this, yeah, the extra deck, leaving me with 1 more space open to do whatever I want. So either those 4 cards or these 4 cards, I'm not sure which. It's probably going to be Magician's Soul. I like that build, because you can also, with Magician's Soul, if you don't want to send Illusion of Chaos, you can always send Diabellstar. So that is the current build, the current thoughts for updating. Other side deck cards will probably be just additional board breakers, maybe Book of Eclipse. I'm not really sure at the moment. But yeah, just whatever you guys think about the deck so far. I'm going to keep trying to upload videos the more I test until the new stuff comes out in Alliance Insight, because I really enjoy playing this deck, and I think there's a lot of people who really enjoy the deck, and White Forest community just seems to be pretty genuinely happy about this deck. Kind of like the Branded community. A lot of Branded people who still play just really, really enjoy the deck. So once we figure out a really good build that solves it, that isn't fiendsmith, I will post that up as soon as possible too. But until then, see you guys later, and have a good day.